Hi everybody, welcome back to another week of Families in an Electronic World. I want to give you a bit of an overview of the resources for this week. This week we will not have a video, we'll just have two readings. But we're going to stay on the same topic, which has to do with how does electronic communication and in its various forms impact how we connect with one another in our families. And last week we watched a video, and my hope in the video was to kind of give you an overview of some of the issues that are involved with between parents and adolescents in particular around cell phone usage or other kinds of internet use. This week we're going to stay on the same theme, but I want to give you two reading resources, actually two research reports that talk about this same issue. So we're coming at it really from a little bit different angle, but the same topic. The first report is by Amy Leonard, and she's with the Pew Foundation. Probably more than any other organization in the country, the Pew Foundation has followed how digital communication is impacting family life. And they've put out many surveys. They've done a lot of research reports on this, surveys and polls, etc. And this is one that came out in about 2012, and it has to do with teens and their cell phones, and in particular smartphones and how do teens use those smartphones in terms of texting and calling and other things they may use it for. I have a feeling you may read this and you say, yeah, this sounds familiar, this is kind of my experience. But there may also be some other things in there that aren't so familiar for you. There might be some findings in there, particularly when you take a look at who uses cell phones and how many people use them, and what sort of background do they have in terms of their socioeconomic background, those sorts of things. You may find some interesting observations that you really hadn't thought about before. So I'd like for you to read that article, and then a second article which you can find under the links section of your web page. So it's not under the content where you find the other articles. This is simply a link. So it's on the same page actually where you found this video. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, you'll see something that says readings, and under there I believe there's just one, Dynamics in the Home, I think it's called. This is a report that was done by the Ericsson company a few years ago. I think it came out in 2011. Ericsson is one of the largest makers of cell phones in the world, although they sell most of their cell phones in other places in the world and not here in the United States. But one of the things they sought to do in their research lab was to ask the question, how does cell phones and other forms of digital communication, how do they impact the way family members interact with one another? And it's a relatively short report, but they found some pretty interesting things. Like it changes the balance of power between parents and children in the family, and it changes the way in which decisions are made, simply because people are communicating more in a digital fashion rather than face to face. So what I'd like you to do is to read both of these pieces, and the question I have will kind of pull them together, and that will be the basis of the discussion for next week. It'll kind of pull them together so that you'll have an opportunity to jump into a discussion about what does the research say about how digital communication is impacting families. Thanks a lot. I'll see you online.